Right, welcome back again. You've made your choice, and your choice with us right now. Track A again, this is all about employer branding, but actually the title of this: less branding, more employer, and more specifically the perspective of our general partner NIS. I'm intrigued to hear, as much as you are, really what we're about to hear in terms of their perspective. So less branding, more employer. Very intriguing indeed. Right, and I think we have Uroš Mirić waiting through the screen with us. Uroš, are you there?
I'm here and quite excited to be here, to be honest.
Hello.
Huh? Do you hear me?
We can hear you. You're looking great, looking good, fantastic. We love that set. We all love that set. It's the kind I would love to come over there and do some. We should switch places sometime.
You're more than welcome to come and join us, of course, in this laid-back surrounding, as you can see.
Right. So again, those of you that are with us right now, you're curious. You'd like to know more, you'd like to hear more, you have a question, you'd like to challenge maybe Uroš on what he's sharing as well. In the chat, let us know what you think. Uroš, over to you.
Thank you. So let's start. Yesterday, we had a great opportunity on Strategic HR Day to hear a lot of great things, a lot of strategic insights, a lot of strategic musts, strategic do's and don'ts for the period that is ahead of us. And today on People-Centric Day, we're going to talk also about strategic topics, but I will try to be as practical as I can. We are going to talk about the employer branding and the employer branding function in our company. Why did we decide to talk about this topic today? Well, we all know that we've been buzzing about employer branding for several years now. We had a lot of crises, but nevertheless, employer branding still remained one of the top 5 topics in HR. Whatever is happening, employer branding is somehow still there. All of the conferences, all of the academies, all of the panel discussions, all of the workshops, also articles. I can say that I had a lot of calls from media, from press, talking about, okay, you have to write for our magazine for the next issue. And what is the topic? Employer branding. So a lot of employer branding during the last several years. And what is happening on these conferences and these gatherings? We usually get to that point where we start with the focus on employee centric approach, but at the end, we all talk about the attraction. We all talk about the external point of view. We all talk about the branding itself. I was preparing for this presentation today and I Googled employer branding just to reassure myself, is this just my point of view? Is this something that I feel like? Or it's like that on Google also. So I Googled employer branding and on the first page included the sponsored updates and sponsored data. Focus was on, let's start, EVP and its uniqueness. But when we deep dive into this topic, it's all about the copy, the marketing perspective of this point, and it's all about the branding part, let's say it like this. Of course, omni-channel approach. Which tools, which channels should we use to share our message or to find our potential employer and potential candidates? Next up, career page, of course. The structure, the best practices, how the global employers do it, what is the most important thing for the career page itself. Do all the employees or candidates go to career page firstly? Of course, career page. Then recruitment marketing, about the campaigns, about how we recruit. And at the end, of course, favorite topic, and we are all experts in this topic, it's social media. But what about the employer part? It's all about the external part, it's all about the branding part, and this is why we decided to talk a bit more about this topic. So let me walk you through our day-to-day agenda, our employer branding function, and let me say there's 3 of us in our team working on employer branding function, working on these projects and these processes. But we, of course, start with the main topic. We are brand spreaders. So let me continue with the things that we maybe hear a lot. But of course, if we're talking about the employee life cycle, we have to talk about the whole cycle that starts with the attraction point. So this is something that maybe is not new, but I would like to present to you the canvas or the metrics that matrix that we use for the external part. Of course, in the focus are social media. You cannot see TikTok here, but I hope that maybe next year we'll have this on the matrix or on our agenda. On the other side, the most crucial thing is, of course, community management, because we see community management as the most organic way to come to our target groups and share our message, localize the message, and really see that we are doing the right thing. As you can see here, we put 4 community management groups that are crucial for our company, but of course, it depends on the company. For our HR community, experts community, IT community, and of course, youth community are the main focuses. We can also see other things like career page, job portals, job ads, recruitment campaigns, image campaigns, brand advocacy, etc. But I think that this matrix is pretty common, and I think that this is nothing special, but just wanted to start with the old branding part. But what about the employer part? As you can see here, this external part of employer branding in our company is just a segment that is a part of our agenda. The most crucial thing and the biggest part of our agenda is the segment that says employer, or all other steps that we have with our employees and with our teams after we attract them. After we get through that awareness funnel, then desire, interest funnel, we come to the point where we attracted them and then applied. So we are talking about the employer. And what is our function? Our function is to have the EVP, to leave the EVP, to boost the EVP, and to be sure that along way of our employee life cycle, we have the crucial point of EVP in each segment. Also, if we're talking about culture transformation, we have to be sure that we're not only communicating it externally and internally, but also living it in our HR processes, but also boosting our leaders to live it in their micro surroundings, let's say it like that. At the end, of course, engagement. So when we spread it out, it's about the attraction, retention, and engagement. And how does it look if we, let's say, split this employer part in each and every segment or each and every step of our employee? Let's say it's about employee life cycle. So we have all of the settings that are going after attraction point. It's recruitment, onboarding, development, retention, and at the end of every story, separation, of course. If we're talking about how does it look in here and why are we doing all of this, well, you should be focusing on internal and external communication, on branding part, but we do not agree. And some of our colleagues or some of the people from HR community always ask, how do you think you can influence on all employee life cycle when you're not expert in those fields? Where this is something where we can prove you wrong, because employer branders do not have to be experts in each field of HR, because they're the voice of people and they are the voice of employees. So they're the voice of people, employees, and job market. And after that, we are talking about the common language. We don't have to be the experts. We just have to know what's happening with the market, with employees, and what are their needs, and how do they use HR tools, and how do they feel about HR tools. So yes, we can influence on each expertise, because with this knowledge of how people feel, we can continue working on this and give the best HR tools that we can. So after we attracted, we are talking about, of course, recruitment. When we talk about recruitment, it's really important to know that almost every company, most of the companies, recruitment and employer branding are like siblings, let's say it like that. Usually they're one team. If we're talking about NIS in org design, we're not in the same team. But if we're talking about our agendas and our goals, yes, we feel and live like we are one team. But if we know all of this, let's go through some practical examples. What are we doing together with the recruitment team, and what are our projects and processes? First of all, of course, candidate experience. After we attracted somebody, they came to our job ad and they had a desire to apply. First thing first, application. Is everything okay? Is everything user-friendly? Is everything really, really easy for our candidates to go through the application form and to apply for our position? After that, we are going through automatic mails, let's say it like that, to see, are they robotized? Are they really sharing the message that NIS wants to share? And we're going through all of the messages that we are sending to our candidates that are really, really in line with the thing and the feeling that we want to share. Of course, we're talking about each step of selection process together with our colleagues, recruiters that are experts in this field. We are trying to figure out which steps are necessary and to make this process as, let's say, simple as it can be for the candidates, because simplicity is the new thing here. All right. After this, we are also trying to talk and let's say share every metric that we have with our recruiters, because they're our brand ambassadors and they are the ones that are sharing the EVP, sharing the company and sharing the experience with our candidates. At the end, we're talking about, of course, the offer and how does it look, and did we cover everything with our offer. So in this segment, we're trying to do the best candidate experience that we can for our candidates. Of course, we have the survey for the candidates, so we are sure that we are doing great things, or should focus on doing something even better. If you're talking about the second project, I said that I will be practical and I will give you like really firm, like concrete projects that we are working on. The second one would be creation and rollout of referral program. Employer branding, recruitment, and comp and band together created a referral program as a tool, first of all, for recruiters to have a great candidate base, candidate pool. And with this tool, we are, of course, sure that our candidates are usually the match for the company, having in mind that they are suggested by our employees. On the other side, this is a great opportunity for our employees to be involved in this process, who is coming into our company. And at the third place, of course, for Comp and Bene, for us as a company, as a rewarding segment, as a rewarding moment, referral program is an amazing thing for a rewarding system. Of course, I will tease you the project that we're working on, and I know that some of you already have it and some of you are considering it, but it's about candidates relationship management, so candidates relation management. We are working on this project having in mind that we have a lot of passive candidates, that we have a large base of candidates, but also have amazing candidates that maybe did not get the job for the position, but we want to have them in our pipeline for some of the next positions that we have in mind for them. As I said, this is only at the beginning. We are just thinking through how to do it, but really important topic and something that we are going to work on with our recruitment team. If we're talking about the next phase, everybody says this is the crucial phase. This is the honeymoon or the disaster phase, let's say it like that. First 6 months, we all know that changing job is pretty hard for people. And having all of that in mind, we have to be sure that we're onboarding everybody and that everybody feels welcomed, that can be productive very soon, and then can be included in a team and live in that microclimate, but also the bigger picture. What do we do with this segment of HR, of our employee experience? First of all, our task was to create step-by-step agenda, to create all of the steps that our employees, newcomers, should go through. from the assets and IT applications, etc., to the moment where they are coming. Did they get the right message? Are they having the body, the host? Are they having all that is needed to start their journey with us? Being a part of a company that has 11,000 employees, that is vertically integrated, it's pretty hard to have the unique approach and to have the strong approach in each and every segment with every employee. So currently we are working on localization of onboarding. So yes, we have a unique approach, like unique metrics, but we can see that it doesn't work for each part of the company. So now we're working on the project where we are trying to localize the onboarding process based on the position, sort of position, and type of the job our newcomers are going to be in. So onboarding is a crucial part, because if you're like building EVP and building the culture and building the culture of respect and welcoming culture, here you can prove that you're really into that or that you're really, really wrong. After first 6 months, if you do not, as a company, show that thing that you have to show, you'll probably have a bit of a problem with the retention segment and with your employees feeling that they are on the right place and that they can give the best for the employer they're working on. Next segment is maybe the most crucial one for the company, because development is, of course, for all really, really important. On the other hand, if we're talking about what are the attributes, what is the EVP pillar, or what is the value that NIS employees value the most, it's for sure expertise. Like for sure, if you ask anybody from 11,000 people, they can say, yes, this is good, yes, this is wrong. But one thing is really common, and I can see that all of employees are really proud of these things, and this is expertise and knowledge. This is why we are working on this agenda pretty hard. Why? When you have something that is your strongest thing, you usually put it aside and focus on things that are not that strong. Let's develop something new. Let's get to the things that everybody have, but we do not have. Maybe that's not the right thing. If expertise and knowledge is the thing that every employee in this field, and this is like the baseline of our EVP, of us as employer, we have to constantly work on it, and we have to constantly boost it, and like be sure that even in 5 years our employees will say the same. And to be practical, let's say again, what does this mean regarding a day-to-day job with employer branding and training and development, or HRBPs? First of all, together we've created Engagement Academy for Leaders. As my colleague Ivan, or my teammate Ivan, yesterday said, engagement is pretty important for us as a company, and it's all about the micro teams. And we're trying to, let's say, develop our leaders to have that kind of mindset and to boost the micro culture and micro engagement in their teams. So we created Engagement Academy for Leaders, where we, together with T&D and HRBPs, as I said, have annual agenda based on what is happening right now in the company. If we see the next thing that would be the thing that we're working on together is, of course, learning culture. This is kind of boosting the spirit of learning and trying to promote the culture of learning in the right way, with the right agenda and the right content. If you're talking about organizational change, of course, when we have big, strong, impactful projects or changes, whether they are bad or they are strong, we're always included in these changes projects, because we are trying to really soft land our employees with every change that is happening. So we are trying to create a plan of change, what is happening and how does it influence all of our employees, and trying to be involved in like creating the agenda and rollout of the agenda to showcase and to have the most simple way of organizational change, whatever type of the change it is. If we're talking about the succession, everybody's like, why succession? Employer branding and succession, how? Of course, we've created succession programs or youth programs for our junior positions and our operating positions. It's really important that we are having a strong pipeline, having in mind that we are a company that is more than 70 years old. We have a lot of our colleagues that are going to pension, so we have to be sure that we have successors for their position that are specialists or experts level, or on the other hand, operators on the field. So we've created 3 programs for youth that are basically strategic working and development of people without any experience to take over the role when the position is open, right? And at the end, we put team cohesion tools. This is like on-demand thing, let's say it like this, because when we have new leaders or new groups or new team ideas, we are there to listen and to try to create a tool for them and to make their idea real. We're not always there in the rollout phase, but we're always there during the creation mode, because we are trying to help from this side of boosting the engagement culture and EVP and create the best tools for the teams based on localized ideas and needs. Then, of course, retention. Some colleagues would say that the retention agenda is pretty wide as the attraction agenda. But of course, this is like normal because we are employer branding or employee experience experts, right? But if we're talking about this segment, of course, we're trying to leave our EVP pillars that are about respect, about rewarding based on the performance. And of course, first segment is rewarding and recognition. Comp and ben. It's really unusual combination, comp and ben and employer branding. And at the start, it wasn't that much of a match in our company. I hope that my colleagues are not mad that I'm saying this. But after 5 years working on this employer branding agenda, I can see that comp and ben and employer branding team are now the greatest allies. Because yes, we have statistics, numbers, finance, and people who are really experts in this part, but also that we have, from employer branding perspective, this people orientation, this commoner mindset where we talk about what is happening in the country, in the region, on the global, what's happening in our company, what is happening in the company around us, what does the job market say, and what do our people say. So not only based on some surveys, we're talking to people and we are like voice spreaders, or we are somebody who is voice of people, let's say it like that. And we're working on amazing projects with Comp and Ben, and I can say that I'm really enjoying each and every project because it's a new thing for me, and I am new in this Comp and Ben world. But the impact this rewarding and recognition part have on employer branding, I think everybody is totally aware of it. So I'm really happy that we have an amazing projects. Some of the projects are implementation of new recognition and rewarding application, like Uspeh na delu we had with our colleagues, or if we're talking about the salary increase, or if we're talking about the special bonus that we got 1 month ago, employer team was included together with HRBPs and Comp and Ben in making the decision how to do it, who should get it, and how will we communicate these things. After the Comp and Ben part and the rewards and recognition, of course, one of the main topics globally, locally, and in NIS, flexibility. Let's say we are co-owners of this amazing topic, and having in mind that we are oil and gas industry that has 11,000 people with 50% field workers or engineers that are working on the field. Really strong agenda and really hard task. But this is how we went through it. First, of course, we were talking about working from home, but we know that we cannot be the best employer in that segment. We focused on some other segments, like what about the people that were on sick leave for long, for new mothers? What about the people that are working in our company but live in some other city? So we are trying to create the flexibility agenda based on I have a lot
of the minute. You have a little bit of time.
Flexibility agenda based on needs and based on what we can. At the end, we have separation mode. We, of course, talking about the last segment, about the exit. If I have 2 more minutes to finish it, or...
I'll let you have 2 minutes. Yeah.
Okay. Finally, when we're talking about the whole employee experience that our employees are going through, we are the metrics holders. So we are really, really aware of the metrics and influence on the metrics and trying to measure all of the employee experience and all of the steps and segments through attraction, recruitment, onboarding, development, retention, and separation. Having in mind that I was talking too much for the last slide, what are we and what is our employer branding function? First of all, of course, brand spreaders, then HR strategy influencers with EVP, culture transformation and engagement, then metrics holders, whoever does the survey, at the end we are gathering the statistics and metrics, also product creator or co-creator or HR tool creator, co-creator, engagement and culture boosters, and at the end, decision influencers based on voice of our employees. So as you can see, our employer branding function is more about employer and less about branding. And of course, branding is really, really a great part, but employer is the biggest part. For my employer branding colleagues, you are HR experts and you should be involved in all of the cycle. And for my HR colleagues that are not employer branders, yes, you are employer branders, and please include employer branding function in all of your decisions and creation, because they can only help if you rely on the things that are happening on the market or with your employees. That would be all from my side.
Fantastic, wonderful. Really, really good to hear how, perspectives of NIS in terms of how they do things, the approach and the mindset in terms of the employer side, the employer branding side of things. So thank you so much. Again, those of you that are listening, you want to reach out to Uroš perhaps, or some of the team at NIS, you can do that certainly. And hopefully, well, we will be hearing more from our general partner a little bit later on in the week as well. Right. In the meantime, what we're going to do right now is take a few short minutes just to finish up these different case studies, and then we'll be back onto the main stage. And there, we've got a treat for you. This is all about the voice of the employee in terms of that hybrid work, home working in the office conundrum. We'll hear a little bit more about that back on the main stage in a couple of minutes.